Imagine walking into IKEA, but there are no signs hanging from the ceiling. There's no arrows on the floor, no sections, no labels, nothing. That's basically what your website feels like without archive pages. Those are the pages that list and organize your posts so people can actually browse your content by topic, category, or date. It's like reading a Where's Waldo book, but there's no Waldo. Stuff exists, but nobody can find anything. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build archive pages for an Astro website using AI with zero coding knowledge required. These archive pages are going to make your website way easier to navigate. It's going to help visitors discover more content, improve internal linking, and help Google actually understand the structure of your website instead of just wandering around confused. Basically, better usability, better user experience, better SEO, more Google juice, more crawling, more indexing, and hopefully more rankings. Before I build the archive pages, I want to quickly explain the options for building them, why I chose the one I did, and why it's important for my overall SEO strategy. On this agency website, I already have individual posts, but I also need pages where people can browse those groups of posts. The main archive, the slug, is just /posts. That is mostly a user experience page, and it gives visitors a great place to browse the full content library instead of just finding articles through navigation in the header or internal links. And then I need content silo archive pages for topics like electrician websites, SEO for electricians, and electrician marketing. Those are my categories. These pages help users because they group the related articles together, but they also have a bigger SEO purpose. So long term, I want each silo page to become a serious ranking page for its main keyword. So the electrician websites page should not just list posts about the electrician websites. Eventually, it should be able to compete for the keyword electrician websites. That means I do not want to lock in every silo into the same generic archive template forever. So one silo page might need examples, another might need pricing, and another might need FAQs, screenshots, comparisons, service copy, or a stronger conversion section. In Astro, these pages are not created automatically like WordPress category archives. Astro gives me the building blocks like content collections, routing, dynamic routes, and post queries. So I have to create the archive behavior by myself. There are two ways I could do that. So option one is dedicated Astro pages for each silo. That means pages like /electrician websites, /SEO for electricians, and /electrician marketing. Each page can query the post collection and show the post for that silo. Each page can query the post collection and show the post for that silo. Option two is a silo content collection with one shared dynamic route, like a template in Bricks Builder. That would make the silo pages more content driven, but it also means they all follow the same general structure unless I add more complexity later. And for SEO, option two is not automatically better. Google does not care whether the page came from an Astro file, an MDX file, or a content collection. Google only sees the final HTML. So for this build, I'm choosing option one. So the model is a custom page first, dynamic post archive inside it. For now, the pages can stay simple, but that gives me room to turn each silo into a custom SEO landing page. So for right now, since I don't have a lot of content, the structure can stay simple, but that also gives me the room to make each page customized for SEO later without fighting against a shared template. So in this video, I'm building the archive pages for /posts, electrician websites, SEO for electricians, and electrician marketing. I'll use reusable pieces like an archive hero, postcard, archive CTA card, and pagination. The SEO metadata will live at the page level, right? Not inside a hero component. So the post featured images will show on the postcards, and the archive pages can optionally have their own images later too. So here we are inside of VS Code. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you're in the correct directory. Make sure you're open. You have your website's folder open. And then after that, what we're going to do is similar to before is we're going to go ahead and get into plan mode. And in order to do that, you just have to put / then plan and start that up. So you can see that it says plan down here. Okay, you can choose your reasoning level. And if you have any files open, you might want to close those because if you have the IDE context selected, then those files would all be put into the prompt. So then we're going to go ahead and paste our initial prompt that we have available on the website for you. And it's the idea is to create a main posts archive page. Okay, so it's basically going to inspect the project and the layouts, any metadata patterns that we have, so we can control the SEO data. And we're going to sort the posts by publish date or any other related date that we have set up. And here it's going to query all entries from the posts. Okay, since we have the 3 content silos, this page is specifically for all posts. So we'll go ahead and get that. At the SEO metadata, we're going to keep it simple for right now because right now we're just setting up the skeleton and the placeholders. we're going to style it and all that later. And yep, we want to explicitly tell it not to create the silo archives yet. Yeah, so do not invent a new design system or components. So yeah, we'll just let it go. Start planning. All right, it worked for 18 seconds, and we now have a plan. So create posts, a simple Astro archive page that follows the existing page pattern, base layout, page hero, all that kind of stuff, creates a page, and it's just going to test it out. So do I want to implement this plan? I say yes. I'll let it go. You may want to change the reasoning level once you start the actual coding. I didn't think about that yet. And then change that to maybe like high or very high. Okay, we have it set up. Now let's go ahead and just take a look and see if we can get to the actual page itself. Can you please start up a local server and then give me the URL to see this page? I read an article about how people say please too much to the LLMs when they don't, it doesn't matter to them. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it changes the results. Okay, so here we are. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, I like to take a look at it inside of Chrome itself. Okay, so here we go. We have a page, and it looks very similar to the skeleton style of others. We click one, yep, it goes on over. Okay, that looks like a success. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next part of our plan. But first, let's go ahead and start getting in the habit of making commits. Okay, so I like to just tell Codex to make the commit for me because it writes a relevant comment and I don't have to think about it, and it just works easy. Can you go ahead and make a commit for this to get? All right, it worked. Okay, so what we're going to do now is move on to creating the hero for the archive page. And I'm not going to clear the context here because we're still working on the same page. So this context I think is useful. And then what we're going to do is go back into plan mode, And did it take? So we're back into plan mode, and I want to paste in the prompt. So create a reusable archive hero component for the post archive page in this Astro project based on the posts content collection layout. And then I gave the path. So if you are following along and you made your own page, you can go over here and then right click on the page that we worked on, like in last video, and then you can click copy path or copy relative path, and then you can paste it into here. So we have that, and I want the style along with the home page's style, so there's a unified style across the website. Okay, so yeah, the idea is just to let the model do its own design work to see if it can come up with something that looks good and unified, since we already have something to work off of, right? And then if it doesn't, I'll just go back to the method of going to find inspiration online and then pasting it in here. Another thing I'm going to do is actually, since we're going off of this page as a design kind of template or reference, I'm going to open up this file and then I'm going to click on the IDE, context. Okay. I'm going to make sure that the IDE context is there and available, so that way it can take inspiration from there. So then we'll go ahead and click send. So now it's going to start planning. So it looks like it's going to create a new component instead of using the other one from the post for the page. All right, it is done. I'm going to take 31 seconds. Let's see what we got. Create a new archive hero component rather than adapting the page hero. Page hero is intentionally minimal for simple pages. Okay, excellent. So we have a new component. It's got a title, an intro, an eyebrow. I think we've been getting rid of that, but we'll take a look at it when it gets produced, and image. Okay, and it's going to replace the current page hero with this new one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let it implement this plan. Okay, it took 1 minute and 56 seconds. Let's go see what it looks like. So I'm not a big fan of it. It does look like the home page's style, doesn't it? Looks like the home page. So that was probably our issue. All right, I'm just going to try to use inspiration from the stuff that we already built and make an archive page that way instead of finding stuff from outside sources. So I'm going to turn on dictation here and then give it a try. Where it says explore topics, I want you to have just all currently available topics for the entire website just available there, and make them a slider like scrollable. And I guess the way you can do that is just, I think we have some other mechanism on the website, some arrows that use that same styling or something similar, so people can scroll through the topics in that bottom. And where it says you are here, I want you to take that portion out and replace it with something that looks almost exactly like the explore topics part, except for this one is going to say maybe explore, or no, maybe it can just say post categories. And then you'll have one is for each content silo that we have. And it will be the same styling as the buttons for explore topics. So to reiterate what that is that at the very top, we're going to have posts. And then under that, we have the component for exploring the categories and topics. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. If not, you can get to work. All right, it worked for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Let's take a look. All right. this is what we have. Not bad. It's a little bit too big. Okay, let's give it some more feedback. I don't really like the arrows you have on the right side. Instead, I like the little dots that you click on the dots below as the slider. You can reduce the amount of space between the words, post categories at the top. And also what you can do is make buttons or stand out a little bit, because right now they just look generic. They just look like labels, not buttons. So make it more clickable, I guess. I don't know how to say it. I'll do that. And then instead of posts, have it say all posts at the very top. And yeah, just reduce the overall height of this card. And make the start of the cards, the post cards themselves, where it says a practical website content plan for electricians. Bring that up a little bit, because we want the user to be able to start looking at and scrolling through posts before they have to scroll too far down the page. So take that feedback and make it better. Just writing versus deleting is like a lottery or something down here. All right, it worked for 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Let's take a look. This is actually, I don't need the pagination above, below the post categories. There's only 3. All right, I'll let that be for right now. And then as we get more topics, I might come back and change that. It's a little bit closer. Seems like we have double lines right here. Get rid of this second line, and then I think it's looking pretty decent. The buttons still look, pretty average. Let's try one more time. Can you make the pagination only be for explore topics? Because we don't post categories. Also, websites, they look the same. It looks like you just put some kind of background shadow, get rid of that shadow thing. Buttons. Interesting. Yeah, try one more time. Yeah, make sure the pagination UI little thing is a little bit farther away from the buttons as well. I think I should move this back to medium since we're doing small edits. Let's see what it looks like. It worked for 44 seconds. Okay, that's gone. And still look the same. The buttons still look the same. And then also you can see there's some kind of shadow. Electrician websites to the electrician. This like underlying shadow. I'm going to get rid of it. Shadow. I'll give you a screenshot. Also, give a little bit more space between the post category buttons and that line in the, give it a little bit more space there. And there's also a line above the post cards. There's 2 lines, but there's one that goes across the full entire width of the screen, which is good. I want to keep that. And then there's one more line that just is the width of the postcards columns. I want you to get rid of that line. 22 seconds later, ooh, way overstyled. What I want you to do is remove it's too strong. I'll just get rid of that and call it a day. There it is, it's gone. 38 seconds later, and that part's good. All right, I think I'm satisfied with the hero, because I do like images, but it's going to take up too much space. And it's nice that they can just click and do this navigation. So yeah, I think I'm satisfied for that. It's simple. So we'll move on to the next part. So the next thing we're going to do is work on these postcards themselves. Okay, and I have a prompt ready for you, which I'll paste right here into VS Code. But first, we want to make sure we have the plan mode enabled. So we got plan mode, right? And here is our prompt. So create or update an archive-specific postcard component for posts for the Astro content collection. Okay, so then I basically tell it to go ahead and inspect the project and don't get confused with other related postcards inside of this website. That's the bottom line there. And I want to do something like I did in the last section, is that I want to make it follow the same style as other parts of the website. So I'm going to add something right here. And if you want, you could go ahead, as you should go ahead and adjust these prompts to your own project and to your own website so that you get the result that you like. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I want the posts card to look similar in style to the related posts cards from the article content sample related post component. Difference though is that I want cards for this archive page to be extend the width. I want it to extend the width of the current column that it has right now. So I want it to be the same width as the current postcards. And you can have the image on the left, but yeah, otherwise follow a similar style. And I'll upload the image as well. I did not say that too eloquently. We got it done. And we're in plan mode, so we'll let it go. But saying it's going to create a new component, as it should, for the postcard. Yes, implement this plan and make sure to look at the screenshot from the last message, since I can't upload the new screenshot in this mode. Oh, it was already there. Pressed paste twice, so it got uploaded twice, but I couldn't see it because of the implement question, the plan mode question. I forgot to do the archive hero changes, commit those, so now it's telling me the work tree is dirty again. All right, it worked for 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Let's see what the result is. Okay, pretty nice, except for I want it to be way thinner because we can only see this one. We can only see half of one. We can only see one card before the fold. It looks great, except for it's way too tall. we want it much shorter so that way we can see more posts quicker, if that makes sense. To keep them horizontal looks better. See how it turns out. Took 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I thought that was going to be like a 30-second. I guess I had to adjust other things for responsiveness. So let's see how it did. It's still way too tall. Is this it? Let me try to refresh. Yeah, it's still way too tall. Let me give it a screenshot. As you can see from the screenshot I just gave you, that the cards are still way too tall. So yeah, make them much shorter so you can see all the white space between excerpt, right? Let's try GPT-5.3 code at Spark. So this is supposed to be ultra fast. Why doesn't it like that? Spark doesn't allow for images. So I guess we'll just keep it at 5.5. All right, it worked for 1 minute and 39 seconds. It's looking pretty good. I think I will let it be and we'll move on to the next part. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a call to action in the middle of these posts. So in the middle of the post query. And the way we're going to do it is that we're going to make the call to action look exactly like a blog post. So if someone clicks on it, it's not going to take them to a blog post. It's going to take them to the contact page, a form to fill out, a pop-up, something like that. So the idea is just to get a couple more clicks by making it blend in, like camouflage or something. I think I saw this strategy from Neil Patel or Backlinko or something like that. So we can try it out, and if it works, we'll keep it. If not, then we can get rid of it. So we'll go back over to VS Code, and I cleared the context because it was getting quite full after all the stuff we've already done. Put it into plan mode with a /plan and then add the prompt. So I'm going to create a reusable archive CTA card component and add simple CTA insertion support. So basically that means you'll be able to change the text on the call to action itself, like the link, the text on the button or the component. That way you can change it. And yep, it's going to be used in the posts archive page. So you can go ahead and read it as it's available to you, and we'll let it get going. Which default CTA content should the plan use for the archive card? We should use be archive specific, right? That way it blends in better. Do it after 3 posts. Sounds good. Add a reusable archive CTA card component. Choose yes to implement the plan. It shows the intro call, the call to action. All right, it worked for 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Let's take a look. There it is. So it did not turn out as expected. So I want the call to action card to literally look exactly the same as the post card. This is consistent call to action component that I can change the image and title and text to. So for example, I can change the post title to something else, and then I would change more to the correct call to action. If that makes sense. So I want you to make it literally exactly like the posts card. But again, the inside there is variable. I'll give you a screenshot as well. The screenshot shows above what the call to action should look like, and card below in the screenshot is what it currently looks like. So fix that, please. All right, it worked for 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and it's looking good. I guess the only thing we have to change is this call to action. Can you remove the dot call to action text after assistant call to action? Yeah, good. All right, worked for 41 seconds. It is gone, and I think it looks good now. It blends right in. Oh, that's the text that goes over there. So let's make sure this is an image. On the left side, it says book an intro call text. So that just like the postcard. So for right now, you can just put the image of that we already one of the images that we already have on the website there. All right, it's all finished. There we go. Everything looks exactly the same now. We are good to go. So we'll move on to the next part. Go ahead and add pagination to this archive. Obviously, I don't have enough posts for it yet, but we'll just set the architecture there. So when I do, it's ready and good to go. So go back to VS Code. I'm going to clear the context, and we'll go into plan mode, paste the prompt. Go ahead and check it out there if you want, but it's nothing special. I'm sure you can come up with something. It says how many posts should appear per archive page. So let's take a look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is 6 enough? We're going a little bit more. I feel like more is better. We'll go with 9. Pagination navigation should the component render numbers and previous next. Do the recommended. So Astro doesn't have category pages and taxonomy like this out of the box. So these type of things are something that you have to build. Well, AI will build for you when you ask. So here's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. I'll have to go back through and then make sure the SEO for the pages is good. All right, it worked. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. It says a small note, the work tree already had on-track archive card component files. Okay, yep. I still need to put a commit. So let's see if there's anything over there. Currently, there's nothing. Can you go ahead and create some, maybe like 5 or 10 fake posts? That way I can test the pagination posts. Looks like it's all in there. 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Let's take a look. Here they are. Okay. The teal, the active page, and teal is a little bit less bold, styling searchable, 2D, category pricing, themes, page. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, this is a little bit nicer. Okay, I'm satisfied. Then we'll delete these fake posts and move on to the next part. Remember that we have 3 different content silos right here as listed as post categories. Here, electrician websites, SEO for electricians, and electrician marketing. So when we click on that, it goes to this right here. So we want to replace that with the exact same layout as this. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to go back over to VS Code. We're going to get into a new chat, put it into plan mode. And then here's the the prompt that I have to paste in. So pretty much it says we're going to make a dedicated silo archive page. And then we say the content silo right here that we're talking about. And yeah, it's pretty simple. So you could probably just make it up off the top of your head. And I'm going to let it go. All right. It worked for 1 minute and 19 seconds. Let's see what we got. Route behavior. Going to reuse the same archive pattern. Seems to be looking good. Accept the plan. Let it get to work. I always forget to change it from medium to high. Maybe I should just leave it as high. But sometimes the high takes too long. All right. It worked for 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Let's see what it looks like if it's there. SEO for electricians. Okay. It doesn't have the other component, the post and categories explore topics component. So let's go ahead and add that. On the posts archive page, right below the title, there's a component as the post categories or the content silos, the 3 buttons, and then it has the explore topics buttons, that component. I want you to add that component to the SEO for electricians archive as well. It seems that the server can't be reached. Can you restart it locally and then give me the link to that page? There it is. Looks exactly the same. Good to go. So what we're going to do next is just go ahead and make the same thing for electrician websites and electrician marketing. So we'll go back here, and actually I'll just keep the context here because it's related. Create the remaining dedicated silo archive pages using the first silo archive page as the pattern. And actually let me put it into plan mode first. Do plan mode, add that in to medium, to cook. So we have our plan. Yes, I'll implement it. All right, there it is. Let's take a look. Electrician websites is good. Electrician marketing is good. All right, all the archive posts are done. So we're going to add one more little user experience upgrade here. Under the post categories, we have each of our categories, but a user might naturally want to go back to the all posts archive. So we should add one more button here. In the all post archive and each of the content silo archives, we use the post categories and explore topics, that component. Under the post categories, we have the 3 buttons for each content silo, but I also want you to add one more button to the left of those in the same styling that says all posts, and that links back to the all posts archive. Okay, it worked for 1 minute and 32 seconds. So let's see what we have. All posts here, posts, all posts. All right, looks good. So that is the archive layer for the content system. Not glamorous, but most definitely needed. At this point, we have the main post archive, reusable archive components like postcards, an archive CTA card, pagination, and dedicated silo pages that can each pull in the right posts from the content collections. The main thing I want to emphasize is that these silo pages are simple right now on purpose. I'm not trying to make them perfect ranking pages yet because I don't have enough supporting content. I'm setting them up so they can become custom SEO pages later. That way each silo can eventually have its own copy, examples, FAQs, copy, internal links, conversion sections, and it can actually also automatically show the related posts from that topic. So the structure is now in place. In the next video, we're going to start implementing the Glossary system, which is another major part of this website's SEO content engine. So if you want to follow along as I build this whole site out piece by piece, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.